Today, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm walking you through two homes that we recently purchased. One was a total fixer-upper, the other we scraped the lot and built from scratch. They're in two completely different parts of Tampa and they couldn't be more opposite. But let's go ahead and pause things right there. This video isn't just some look at these pretty homes kind of tour. I'm showing you what it's really like to invest in Tampa right now as a primary home buyer or as an investor. You're getting before and afters, behind the scenes, and the kind of real life decisions nobody's showing you on camera. And hey, let's go ahead and have some fun with this. I want you to play along, watch both homes, check out the neighborhoods, the styles, and the vibes, and let me know at the end which one you'd pick. In this market, it's not always about finding perfect. It's about knowing what's possible in Tampa. And this video's, it's gonna hit on some real takeaways. So here's why I really wanted to share my experience with you. In Tampa, there are tons of buyers right now who are waiting around for that perfect move-in ready home to pop up on Zillow. And meanwhile, real opportunities are just sitting there, getting passed over every single day. That fixer-upper in a killer neighborhood, most people just scroll right past it. That dated mid-century home on a big lot, they don't even realize they could build new and create something custom. What we're doing in this video is showing you both of those options, two real-world projects we've taken on. The cool thing with these two projects is that we use the exact same budget to purchase and get a final product. But these two homes, they're completely different. South Tampa versus Carrollwood, new versus old, city versus suburban, and yet both are absolutely perfect for the right person. And I really want to know what you think. But before getting started, here's a few things I want you to know. We are all in at $1 million for each home. However, I don't want you to focus on the price as much as the process. I also want you to know that Tampa is loaded with older homes in and around the city, which is one of the biggest messages here. There are great older homes in well-established areas in Tampa that haven't been maintained, and you as a home buyer can find a home to live in and build quick equity even in this market, and I'm gonna prove that today. So let's not waste any more time. First up, let's take you inside a home we just bought, gutted, and completely brought back to life right in the heart of Carrollwood. And folks, if you don't know this about me, I have a real estate team with boots on the ground all over the Tampa area. So if you're looking to make a move to Tampa or simply planning for your next home, reach out to my team because we want to be your local real estate team of choice. So for any home you buy, the first thing to focus on is location, location, location. So for those of you that are not familiar with Carrollwood, it is one of the original suburbs of Tampa, just 15 minutes outside the city limits, with homes that were built in the 60s and 70s. And I truly love this because you won't find cookie cutter here. In this specific section called Carrollwood Village, it's established. It has a 27-hole championship golf course and a clubhouse that many of the residents enjoy. On any given day, you'll see tons of families riding around on bikes and golf carts. There's Saturday markets, and they recently revamped many of the parks in the neighborhood. Now, I won't get too detailed on the area right now, but if you want a full breakdown, you can check out this video, which I just shot, that gets really deep on things. Now, this area is tried and true. So when I found this home sitting on the market with a half-acre lot on the golf course, I knew we had to take a look at it. It was on the market for about 100 days, and I'll be honest, I did not love the interior of the house initially, but I rated the lot a 10 out of 10, so we really had to get creative to make this happen. My wife had the vision of modernizing the home, but keeping it true to its classy French theme, and that's when I knew I had to call in the big guns. And she and my wife worked their magic to make this home something really special. And folks, I won't hog Becca just for myself, so if you need help with any home design, I'll drop her contact in the description, and you won't regret reaching out to her because she's that good. Let's make our way inside, and what I want to do is talk you through some of the before and after, and I'm going to need Becca's help here explaining some of the highlights, because if you've ever gutted and remodeled a house on a tight timeline, you will understand sometimes I get a few flashbacks. It's still a bit fresh, if you know what I mean. All right, Becca, so what I want to do for the folks is show them how we got to this beautiful home that we're going to show them today that you helped us create, but we have to start back to where it all happened, which was the demo, right? It doesn't get here just overnight. So right when we walked in the door, we noticed that this wall was closed off that is now leading into the dining room, but it was a kitchen on the back side. The concept we wanted was to have a really nice, classy French theme with the home. We wanted to stay on theme, but we wanted to open it up and modernize it to a house that has that open family room, kitchen combo, right? So we can entertain. So we had to move that kitchen 3 rooms over to where it is now, and we'll show you folks that in a minute. But in doing so, we were able to open up this dining space. So right away, if we had to walk all the way down there, we had the open dining room. We did fill that gap with a butler pantry, pass-through pantry, which we'll show as well. And then of course the kitchen, and then the whole entire home opened up and everything really came together. Downstairs, we also noticed, you found out, right, that there was a hollow space behind this wall right here to our right. And you said, why don't we pull the plumbing over and make this a half bath? So right away, we added a half bath, which is one of my favorite spots in the house, because we went a little funky on the design, right, with that wallpaper and made it just kind of on theme. And then downstairs, as far as functionality, we knew that right away we had this guest suite over here on the bottom, so that anytime we wanted to have guests sleep over for entertaining, or if anybody ever had a multi-fam use for it, let's say future owner said, hey, I want to have a live-in, that was a perfect space with a walk-in full bath for them. And then of course the office space in the back. So really functional downstairs that we created. Upstairs, as far as the demo goes, we had the 2 secondary bathrooms, but I think one of the reasons it didn't sell immediately was because there was a funky space that kind of connected or was in between the 2 secondary bedrooms that really didn't get to the bathroom either. So we had to think through how can we get creative there. And we created a Jack and Jill. So now the 2 secondary bedrooms have this extra bonus space, almost like an extra loft, but then it also has access to the shared bathroom. The last piece, which again would say the second biggest focus point besides the family room and the kitchen, would be the master suite, the master bath. And I mean, we completely gutted it and made it absolutely gorgeous. So that's the demo piece. But once we demoed that, I mean, you're seeing shots right now of the demo where it's just completely gutted and wood, and it looks like a nightmare scene, especially for anybody that's in there. But we had to have that vision of now, how do we put it all back together and make it just absolutely gorgeous? And that's where Becca did her magic. So let's take them through the home. Let's show them some of your vision and how we put this together.
So whenever we start a new remodel project, we try to keep the basic concept very cohesive, and that starts with the architecture. For this home, it had a little bit of a French classic traditional look, so we built the color palette and the finishes with that in mind. There are a couple of elements that we're going to show you, and a couple of different finishes and features that I think all really tie it together.
So as we're walking, what are some of those features that you suggested to us using in the house?
So right over here, we've got this like archway, which I know arches are very popular right now, but we just wanted something subtle that helps you kind of take it in through from the entry.
Right. Not only that, but you have a lot of curves, right? You have the staircase right behind us, and then we had to open that up because I wanted to anyway. I didn't want the kitchen right behind there. It was too far. So once we opened that up, that gave a really nice touch. And then, you suggested the brass finishes, which, I mean, you went hard on me, right? You said brass, it's the patina, that older look when it comes, and you have that choice of polished or patina, right? And
yeah, there are a couple of varieties of brass, and we're trying to move away from those matte black finishes that you see so often in new builds.
So then moving through on the, I guess you could say, demo design side, this was a me. I wanted this because I've seen so many of these new builds where they have that, that extra space that really you can just put your stuff, instead of having your toaster oven on the counter, you can put it right in there and it's out of sight, so you have those clean counters because you did such a good job here, right? So that's really what we went for. So as we're walking through, this was a tight, narrow hallway, if you will.
Right.
And I mean, I never saw that. I couldn't see it, but it was like, how are we gonna open this space up and incorporate it, make it feel like it was all one? And you said, well, let's just widen the space. So right away, we kind of created something out of a hallway, which was really unique, I thought. And then, of course, I mentioned it earlier, but on the demo side, we wanted to open this kitchen up to the family space. And to do so, we had 2 load-bearing walls here that we had to carry over. But I think we got the vision we were looking for. So fill me in, what did we do here in the kitchen, and why did we go with some of these choices?
Yeah, so you can see we've got two-tone cabinetry. We did a darker wood on the island, just to kind of have a nice little warm accent. And then we did Sherwin-Williams accessible beige paint on all of these cabinets, and as well as the doors. So if you see the interior doors throughout the house, they're also painted the same color as that cabinetry. Like Adam mentioned, we did a lot of brass finishes. This is an unlacquered brass, so it'll patina over time, which is really cool. You kind of have to have a tolerance for imperfection because it wears differently over time.
Yeah, that was one I had to get used to, but I like it now. Now it's grown on me, and I can see that vision. I think anybody will like it, so yeah.
And then we have a couple of cool kitchen features that I like to put in a lot of the kitchens I design. We've got these pull-out things here. You can put your knives in them. I don't know if you want to open those.
We can open that, it's fine. You got the knife built-ins here.
And then my favorite is this dishwasher, because you probably wouldn't be able to find it just looking at here, but there's your dishwasher. And then we also hid the fridge and freezer.
Yep, so fridge right over here. We've got the panel ready fridge, both sides, right? Bottoms are also the freezer. And then one of the coolest things is not only did you make this gorgeous, you know, the custom hood, the pop filler, it's functional, right? So in this island, you can press the cabinets in. I'll do that so you guys can see. And then everything is, a charging station. So on both ends here, you can actually have your iPads and your phones and all the things that you have. And you know, you can charge them right here in the island. So it's not just like a dead end cap. And then right over here is where it really opens up into the family room, and we go all the way up to 10 plus ceilings and the original coffereds, like you said, the coffered ceiling. So you really want to hold on to the charm that was with this home. You know, this is a 1970 home. So you want to pull in that older, you know, vibe that it really made it what it was, that French theme, and keep that with it. But then we're modernizing it right over here, and it just really blends with the style choices that you chose. But yeah, what a great room here. You continued with some of those features, right?
Yeah, we have that same cabinetry on the fireplace, built-ins as well. We put some sconces up there just to add some, you know, layered lighting.
Yep.
And then curtains, window treatments. I think you guys enjoy the fact that they're remote operated.
I love that you can remote operate. They go up and down. The European oak floors, you know, throughout the house hit it. And no pun on this one, but the French doors along the entire back of the house just bring in a ton of light. And one little thing before we move on is right in this hallway here, right? As you go into the laundry room, you said, well, what about the dog? So what do you want to do with the dog? You said, well, you always have to move the water bowl, right? To go to the sink and get the water. And you suggested, well, why don't we make it fun and put a pot filler so that you can fill up. We pulled that right off of the water line of the refrigerator, so it's right behind there. And that was just a really cool, simple add-on that just makes the home unique. Let's go upstairs. To me, focus point number one was right here. I love this side of the house, but upstairs, that's really where it opens up. Focal point number two, that's gonna be the master suite. Let's go ahead and head up there. All right, so as I mentioned earlier with the demo, upstairs there wasn't a whole lot to do over here with these secondary bedrooms, but the thorn in the side was that there was that funky space over there preventing any of the guests from this side to be able to get into the bathroom. So what we did was we modernized it by kind of chopping off the bathroom and making a Jack and Jill so both can enter. And now both can actually get to the extra space as well. And I think that really opened up the flow and made it functional. But over in the master, let's go ahead and head that way. One of my favorite parts of the home, hands down, is the bath. Before we get there, you know, the master bedroom, we really didn't have to do a lot. It had great space and, you know, right off the cuff, outside of the bathroom, the view, because it does have a balcony that comes right off of here. And as I said before, the lot is a 10 out of a 10. So if you can walk out of your master onto the balcony and you get this view, it's kind of king of the castle moment. And I just feel like that was like a huge bonus up here in the master. But Becca, go ahead and take us in the bath and show us what we were working with.
All right, so this bathroom was kind of a mess before. The layout was just not very functional. There was a huge tub that made no sense in the back. So the best thing to do was just completely gut it. The ceiling was dropped down to 7 feet, so we were able to raise that up, thankfully, and just redo all of the finishes. We started with, you know, we wanted to do a large double vanity. We got the Taj Mahal countertops with the, again, brass finishes and some oil rubbed finishes for the lighting and mirrors.
This is what really catches your eye, is this massive wet room, wet zone. She calls it a room. That's probably more proper because of the size of this place.
We did this nice long bench with a rain shower head and 2 wall shower units.
And that actually, the bench, you made that out of the Taj Mahal, the same countertop material.
Yep.
Yep.
And it all kind of flows together with this Zalige tile. We also put this little like arch nook, kind of carrying that same theme throughout the house. We
did the tub and the soaking area, and then we basically said that we wanted to do some teak shelves or something in that space, which we haven't had a chance to do yet.
We're getting there.
We still have some final touches on this house, but overall, you can see the space. Love what you did here. Let's go ahead and give you a recap on what we've seen so far. To recap this project, we kept the theme of the home classy with brass vintage finishes and European oak floors, but modernized this space by moving walls and truly opening up the home, making it ready to entertain. The two main focal points of the project were creating a custom gourmet kitchen and an owner's suite where you can unwind and pamper yourself at the end of the day. The home came in at just over 3,600 square feet. It includes 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, an office, and a small bonus room shared by the 2 secondary bedrooms upstairs. The lot is as unique as they come, with just over a half acre that overlooks the golf course and in an established neighborhood with plenty of amenities to enjoy. We were all in after the renovations, right around $1 million, but I want you to follow me over to this next home. And towards the end, I'll reveal how much equity we estimate to have on each of these homes, because not only can you customize your home like this, but by putting in that work that no one wants to do, you can force equity into the home, giving you an added bonus. Now, what we saw over in Carrollwood, that was a suburban specialty, right? Quiet, controlled, and planned. Now let's go ahead and flip the vibe completely. Deep into the city, this next home, it sits on one of South Tampa's most iconic pockets called Ballast Point. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn the mic over to my business partner, Phil, here, because while I was out there hunting down that Carrollwood house, he was sourcing this lot and he found a diamond in the rough. So Phil, tell me quickly, why would someone live in Ballast Point, and why were you very specific when you actually found this lot?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I live in Ballast Point personally myself. I absolutely love it. One of the main reasons why I like it is just the access that it has to downtown. You have the scenic route of Bayshore that you can take there. You're there within 10 minutes. It has tons of walkability to it. There's a big community surrounded here behind Ballast Point. You have access to the yacht club, really to the Stovall House. You can just go right down the street over there to Mad Dog's Englishman as well, get something to eat.
Yeah.
There's Italian restaurants. There's just so much you could actually walk to.
So much in this hyper bubble,
Yes,
if you will.
absolutely.
Right. So, okay, so we got that locked down. Now that we're okay, Ballast Point, great place to live, great spot. Why did you focus on a lot? Like, or what did you look for when you were looking for a specific kind of lot?
So you'll start to notice, like, especially it got really competitive in this area, especially during that the COVID boom, right? And what happens is a lot of the lot sizes got really small in here. And you know, I'm from the north, so I like to have some property. So we found this lot that is a lot and a half, which is really, really hard to find around here. And so it has, a traditional lot's gonna be 50 feet by 100. This is 70 by 125.
Right, so oversized lot.
Oversized lot, so, and also in an X flood zone.
Okay.
So, which is also really rare.
Would you have bought a smaller lot and it still would have worked, or were you specifically like hunting down these kind of things?
I wanted to find a way to stand out in the area. You know, when you're building for somebody, right? Like, you don't know, who's gonna buy your house. You wanna find a way to, differentiate yourself from the others. So by having that extra lot, gave us more space and more creativity to build a house.
Okay, so now that you got the lot you're looking for, that oversized, how did that translate into basically the exterior features here right before we go ahead and head inside?
Yeah, so this is a 3-car garage. It's very actually rare to find that in an area like this. So when you have a wider footprint, you can have a wider base house. And you were able to put a porch in the front. There's a lot of community, obviously, like I said before, in this area. So a lot of people like to hang out in the front, get involved. There's a school right down the road that you can walk to. So you can be right in the action.
So you got 3-car garage. If you have a big family, you know that you're probably gonna have, a teenage driver or somebody else, you might need that. You had told me actually before that it's great for golf carts in the area.
Yes.
So you could park your golf cart in there, or just have like a hobby section, right?
You could put a gym on the side.
Absolutely.
You could have all 3 cars in there. There's a ton that you could do with it.
All right, so the lot gave you a lot of potential. It gave you options. So folks, the reason I'm going deep on that is if you're looking for a style of house like this, when you're building or searching for your own place, these are extra bonuses. Like, could you find a 50 by 100 down the street? Absolutely, there's a bunch of those. But when you find one of these, you gotta hop on it because it gives that extra value and it gives you more options when you're building, right? Let's go ahead and hop inside and let's have Phil show us around. So Phil, you're the designer here, right? Now that we're inside, you told us about the outside. Go ahead and let the folks know, like, what did we do in here? What really stood out with the interior of the house? What was that decision making, right?
Well, there's a lot of decisions, but obviously your first impression, you want to have a great first impression when you're first walking into the house. So the first thing you really see here is all the natural light that's just coming in as you walk through. The ceilings, we got 10-foot ceilings in here. So you really feel like it's a lot of airy space.
It makes it feel bigger than the 3,000 plus square feet.
There's a lot of energy when you walk into the home.
Sure. Now, on layout, because I know layout was a big deal, just like the oversized lot, the layout was a big deal because we see so many homes and you're like, wow, why did the designer or why did the developer do that, right? So you being the builder, how did you function or how did you think of this functionality of the layout?
Well, it's got its challenges because we're building this house without a buyer. So you want to have as much options, utility, versatility into the home. So you want to give that, that buyer some options.
Yeah, thinking ahead of like what may they need, right? What might they need? So right off the bat up here, what do you got?
So we have an office. It's a beautiful office, but at the same time, this could be served as a multifunctional room. If you had somebody that can't use the stairs up and down, they can still have full access to the house, all the amenities with just staying down.
Yeah, so really what you created was flexibility.
Yes.
You said, okay, if you're a remote worker and an office is very important, well then bam, you have that. But if you're somebody that's moving multi-gen, maybe we're seeing that a lot, inflation, insurance and all that. We're seeing families combine and say, hey, we'll move down together. So that would work for the space.
It would work, and that's why we put that closet in there as well, just so they have that option.
And then in talking about that, we obviously went with a full bathroom right here.
Yeah, and the thought process behind having the full bath here is obviously if someone's in the front bedroom that they have access to that. This lot being so large here in South Tampa, you have plenty of space for a pool. So you don't want to always go upstairs, take a shower, you can do it right here.
Yep, and one thing that caught my eye is obviously you mentioned 10-foot ceilings, but 8-foot doors.
Yes.
Like these are upgrade options that you're gonna choose as we go along. We probably won't point out every single upgrade because you've done a lot here, but those are some key features that really stand out and you kind of need that when you're going to a certain level of home.
When you're over $1 million, you want to make sure you have that grand feeling.
Right.
So if you have short doors with high ceilings, it's going to be a little bit off balanced. The really cool thing is here, even with the tray ceilings, they go up to 11.
Okay.
So there's a lot of air.
And you did that twice. You did it over in the dining space. You also did it right here in the family room.
Yeah. And then on those, upper levels of homes, our drywall work. I'm gonna go back to me being from up north, okay? Orange peel kills me every time I walk into homes out here. So we went with a level, I would call it a level 4.
Yeah, level 4, level 5, smooth finish.
Yeah, it's really hard to say level 5, but level 4, it's a back rolled, it's real smooth, so it has a much more aesthetic to it.
I'd agree with that. I didn't get that at the Carrollwood house, right? We had some of those smaller ceilings. We did go with a smooth finish, but we couldn't do 8-foot doors. Sometimes I had 8-foot ceilings, and that's what you're gonna get in an old house. But when you're choosing how to design it, going up, yeah, some builders don't like to do it, but thinking of the end buyer, this is the way to go, hands down.
Exactly, and we put lights all the way throughout the tray ceilings. We wanted that to complement the fireplace too at the same time. We went over and above and beyond just putting wall trim around the windows. This house has hurricane force windows, doors all the way throughout.
Which, do you have to have that in this zone, or it's not a necessary thing, but it's a nice upgrade?
Well, according to the new code, you have to have them. So
Building new,
you gotta have
gotta go.
Yep.
It's good to know. So see, protection here, guys. Now, over here in the kitchen, right? I love always the kitchen. I'm the kitchen guy, but it's new. You have to be open. You have to have the family room, the dining room, the living room combination. So tell me about your kitchen.
Yeah, so it's all about flow, right? So obviously in this type of format in this house, you wanted to be able to be at the dining room table, someone cooking, being able to enjoy family time, in the living room. So we wanted to make sure that everybody had being able to mingle in here. So we went with the high cabinets,
extra storage.
Extra storage, the things like the holidays, the appliances you don't use, they can go up top.
Okay.
Still give you easy access to everything on a day-to-day. We went with the quartz countertops. There's so much cabinet space all the way throughout. We went with a higher level General Electric appliance. And
yeah, so I mean, you have all the necessities here. You went with the quartz up the side, so some of those upgrades, but
custom built-in as well as far as the stove is concerned.
And then obviously in the walk-in pantry, which is a nice touch. I mean, that's standard, but how many $1 million homes do we go into and you see like the standard wire?
We had a custom designer come in here and make it fit for the pantry.
Yeah, so we had the custom there. And then again, as you know, we're heading upstairs, but since we're on that mindset, right around the corner here, you did a little bit of a mudroom because this is coming in from that 3-car garage. And so we have the mudroom with the cubbies and all that. And again, you had the same guy just customize those, built them in.
Yeah, when you think of this house, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, you're thinking large families, most likely you're gonna.
There's a good chance.
There's a good chance, right?
Yeah.
So you come in right from school, everyone can hang the backpacks right up, put the shoes there, no mess throughout the house. It's perfect.
I love it. Let's head upstairs, guys.
So as we get up here to the second floor,
Yep.
one of the first things that you're gonna feel here is the same height of ceilings that you have on the first floor.
Right.
So we wanted to keep that grand experience all the way throughout the home.
Right, so we went 10-foot ceilings upstairs as well.
Yeah,
and I
don't traditionally see that.
No, because a lot of the builders want to kind of cut costs or whatever.
Right.
And upstairs, you kind of have that push down. So you took that extra step and gave them an extra foot and foot and a half.
Exactly.
Depending on what that is upstairs. Sweet.
Yeah. So when I show homes, the flex space has always been a major hit.
Right.
But at the same time, we didn't want to compromise the build at the same time, and you're just held to a flex space. So this area is large here, but it also multi-purpose. It also can be used as a bedroom. Maybe you have an older child that needs a little bit more room, that has a full bath.
Yep.
Or it could just be a media room, office. It's really anything that you want it to be.
Yeah, so it's really very similar to what's downstairs. It's larger than the other secondary bedrooms so that you do have that option.
Right.
But again, we're working as a builder. So if any of you are coming through, remember I said different messages. The messages are, if you're a home buyer, you can look for these layouts, these things. If you're an investor, or if you're a home buyer that's gonna live here for maybe 2 years, right?
Exactly.
Take advantage of the capital gains and then sell it, then you have to think to the next person, not just yourself. And these flexible rooms like these spaces give options. Now the secondary bedrooms are right over here, but in passing, this isn't really a loft, it's more of just kind of a landing coming up here.
Right.
But you created this wet spot that would be great for hey, a coffee bar or just a place to put your waters in the refrigerator. So I like that touch up here. But over here in the secondary bedrooms, again, you have the taller ceilings, the perfect space for this. And down this little hallway, they share that full bath, which is perfect. But I really want to see the master bedroom. So take us over that way.
Absolutely. So actually, we have to hit the laundry room first.
Okay.
It only made sense. You got all these bedrooms upstairs.
Yep.
You had to put the laundry room. That is really easy to access to.
Yeah, and
it made a lot of sense.
And that's absolutely, with the modern homes, it makes sense. You're not lugging laundry up and down the stairs, right?
Absolutely. So now, obviously, in the master bedroom.
Yep.
I mean, this is the showstopper, the real big selling point.
Yeah, it's kitchen, master.
Yeah.
I said that in the last house. It stays true with this house.
Yeah. And also, whoever is buying the house is going to be staying here. So you got to make it look extra good.
Absolutely. So you do the tray ceilings, which is going to take you up to 11 feet.
Yes.
And I love the little touch of the transom windows, because that added with the other windows behind what I would assume would be the headboard, that's going to let in a ton of lighting.
Now we have 2 closets here. They're basically about the same size, so there's not going to be too much fighting over.
No arguing?
No arguing on. And as we enter the master bedroom, kind of really the thought behind this is really make it feel like a spa. So we went with a frameless glass shower.
Yep.
And at the same time, it's really funny because a lot of times when you go through houses, people don't always want tubs, or they won't buy the house if it doesn't have a tub.
Right.
So we wanted to really just come with a little bit of a sleek look to it, but also not get in the way of the functionality of the bathroom.
Yeah, so plenty of size there. His and hers rain shower. You got the tub, you got the double vanities, and a ton of light in the bathroom. I know that sounds like maybe not a big deal.
Right.
But I've never been, nor have you, a woman that's putting on their makeup, and when they have natural lighting coming on, boy, you hit the spot.
Good to go.
I love the touches in here. Now to recap this project, this was a new custom built home, just over 3,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, and has a 3-car garage for extra parking. This home has an oversized lot and an elevation of 14 feet, which means it's not in a flood zone and there's plenty of space to add a pool. Some of the home highlights include the 10-foot ceilings on both levels and hardwood floors, hurricane-rated windows, and new everything. The home is designed with a more modern layout and a neutral palette, ready for a homeowner to add personal touches. And being located in South Tampa, you have the best of the city at your fingertips and Bayshore walking just around the corner. Now, some of you might be ready to go ahead and put that comment in, letting us know which home you like the most, but just go ahead and hold on, because I want to give you a quick lightning round that compares these 2 homes, because there is way more than just a great location and some upgrades here. Starting off with the price. Both homes cost us $1 million all in, fully renovated, and I estimate the Carrollwood home could sell for about $1.4 million in the current market, and we actually just sold this Ballast Point house in just 3 days on the market for $1.4 million, so price and value-wise, pretty similar there. And FYI, if anyone had their eye on a home like the Ballast Point one I just showed you, remember, Phil built this and he can help you if you're looking to start, to purchase something from the ground up. Just go ahead and reach out to us. Now, features of the home. Make sure to compare mostly renovated versus a brand new. It's hard to beat brand new, but there is something to be said about that vintage brass and classy custom finishes. Now, location, only you can understand the lifestyle and vibe you want. Suburban, controlled, slower pace with more room to stretch out, or city living and on the grid where things move a bit faster, but everything is at your fingertips. Carrollwood, it has a ton of amenities and great restaurants, but South Tampa gives you access to boating and water activities, downtown, and all the newer developments. Lastly, I would consider the time it takes for each project. The reno took us about 6 months to start to finish in Carrollwood. Meanwhile, the new build right behind me took Phil about 12 to 13 months to complete. You have to weigh the time, the effort, and the cost for both. While they both cost the same, the approach may be different, meaning I put very little down and had to come up with the rest, separate cash for that reno, where Phil had to buy the lot cash and then work on a loan for the rest of it. Which one would you choose? Well, you were patient with me and I hope I delivered on this video, but now it's time. You've seen both homes and you have all the details. So which home would you choose? Please leave your comment below. I wanna know which home and why. And while we're right here, if you're still looking for more content, that's fantastic. And I wanna encourage you to check out one of my playlists that deep dives into what it's really like living in Tampa, Florida. As always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you on the next one.